Well, greetings from the sales floor of Ellingson Motor Cars here in Rogers, Minnesota, northern suburb of Minneapolis, Minnesota, about a 45-minute drive from the airport to us. Today we're going to talk about a gentleman's pickup, the first year for the Ranchero, a 1957 model. You're going to want to watch this entire video from start to finish because we do a cold start, we do a walk around, give you all the details of the car. You can also get that information by clicking on the link in the description, and it'll take you right to our website where you'll find pricing and more information, plus have access to over 100 additional vehicles we currently have in inventory. And our website being www.ellingsonmotorcars.com. Let's get into the details because this is the first year for Ford to come out with the custom, if you will, because Chevrolet came out with the Cameo pickup in '55, and Ford says, well, we got to kind of top them a little bit and come out with something of our own. And so they came out with the '57 Ford Ranchero. And as I mentioned before in my earlier introductions, this was a gentleman's pickup. That's what my dad called them because my dad had one a few years later than this, but it was just kind of one of those vehicles that still gave you the comfort and look of an automobile, a regular car, but yet you could still utilize the fact that it was like a pickup as well. Now, this was one of those things that we always have to remember when you buy cars back in this era, you have all the choices, all the options that you want to have. This particular car came with a V8, 292 V8, and it came with a Ford-O-Matic Automatic transmission, which is really nice for anybody can jump in this car or in this truck, whatever we want to call it. You can jump in this and you can drive it. The other really nice feature that this particular car has, they also checked off the little box that said, we want power steering. Well, power steering is probably one of the nicest features on any of these old collector vehicles, just for ease of driving, parking, whatever. Just was one of those really nice upgrades. The other thing, of course, that this particular vehicle has, it does have the wire wheels, which really sets this car off with the wide white wall, and it is a radial tire. Again, another one of those improvements. Didn't have radial tires in 1957, had to wait quite a few more years for that to come about, but boy, I'll tell you what, it really makes for a lot nicer ride, handling and everything, safety. The radial tires are just really a wonderful, wonderful thing. But 57 still had the single headlights, beautiful chrome on this vehicle. Don't you love the flame red, the Colonial ivory paint with the gold anodized stripe that runs down the entire side of the car with a strip thing going out the back. It really has a super distinctive look, needless to say. Like I said, it's just really a 50s color, to say the least. Looks like it has dual outside mirrors because back in those days, you had to check off every little thing that you wanted. Well, let's take a look at the inside on this particular vehicle. And yes, beautiful interior all the way done, been redone. You know, this car belonged to a collector, a big substantial collector over in Wisconsin when we got it from that collection. Just a really nice example. But yes, original instrumentation. Here's one of those safety features that, you know, I often didn't think about as a kid, but it does have a padded dash. You know, lots of scars from cars that didn't have that back in the era, but yes, it does have that as well. Red interior, beautiful headliner in this thing. And like I said, it's one of those things, you can utilize it as a truck as well, like a pickup truck. I mean, you got lots of room in the box back here for hauling stuff. Don't think I'd be probably putting gravel and rocks in there right now, but it really is kind of a nice deal. Nice tailgate, dual exhaust. Boy, this car has a really wonderful sound. This is kind of one of those distinctive things that you see on the Rancheros. It looks like a bull in a circle that you'll find on the Rancheros. Many years that they use that going forward, if you will. Now, you can find all of our stuff on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok as well. Give us a like, leave us a comment, or subscribe. We appreciate that very much because it gives you access to this vehicle, our current inventory, and is kind of an added bonus, some of the vehicles we've sold over the years as well. So if you like old cars, you like to look at stories and learn stuff, like my videos, hey, what more can you do better than that? Watch that kind of stuff right there on those sites. But yes, it's one of those things that, you know, we look at this and go, we don't see these very often. I mean, it's like I say, first year for them, really, really nicely done. If you're like me, you're gonna say, you know, I really like watching the videos. It's really great, informative. It helps me get an idea what you have, but I want to come down in person and check it out. Well, by all means, come on down to Ellingson's. We are open Monday through Friday from 10 until 5, and Saturdays as well, 10 to 4. So if you want to come down, touch it, make sure it's real, and you make sure that you fit in the car, any of those sort of things. I always have to take that in consideration when I'm doing this stuff. But yeah, it's something that you just don't see very often. Now, there are other questions that you may have. Anytime you have a question, by all means, you can give us a call at 763-428-7337, and we will do our very best to answer any and all questions you may have. Say you have a question about, how do I buy, if I buy this car and I live out of state, can you get shipping for me? Yes, we have many sources for shipping cars all over the United States, so that's never going to be a problem. I don't know, how do you finance one of these collector cars? Again, we have several nice sources that can help you, and they understand what collector cars are. You know, sometimes your local bank, they don't know what a 57 Ford Ranchero is, but the people in the old car world that do the financing, they certainly know what this car is, and they know some of the values as well. But yeah, it's just one of those cars. It just has the greatest look. I mean, I just think this is about as 50s a color as you could ask for. The other thing I always highly recommend, if you buy a Ford or you buy a Chevy or you buy whatever, join the national and or the local clubs, because they are very helpful. You run into people that have the same passion and they like the same stuff that you do. It's always a fun thing to do. Plus, we always say you can run into what we call Mr. Wrench. Mr. Wrench is the guy out there that says, you know, you got a question about that 292, I can help you with that, whatever, or any other questions. It's always a good thing to be a member of one of those groups. No, it's probably one of the greatest color combinations in my world. I just love this. It looks like a 50s vehicle, needless to say. And, you know, it's just one of those, the first year of anything is always more of the collectible stuff. And options make another difference when you're buying that first or your 100th collector car. It's really nice to have power steering, nice to have the V8, nice to have the automatic, so anybody can jump in this car, put it in gear and drive it. There's also special things that you can get by owning collector cars. You can get a better tax break on collector license plates or whatever. There's always that neat stuff to consider as well. Well, if you're looking for something unusual, you want something that not everybody else has in the world, you know, Ellingson Motor Cars kind of strives to come up with interesting vehicles. And to me, 57 Ford Ranchero, that is really one of those specialty vehicles that would really look good sitting in your driveway. We can help do that. So again, we thank you kindly for watching our videos. And again, if you have any additional questions on this particular car, give us a call, 763-428-7337, and we'll do our best to answer them. Thank you again, and I hope you enjoy these videos, and we'll see you next time at EllingsonMotorCars.com.